I believe Biconomy doesn't need any special introduction. Thank you so much. Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Me again. You see me throughout the day. Like today, at this time, I'm very, very privileged that we can have a dedicated session for Biconomy and really learn about where they are these days. So Biconomy is a project I hold very close to my heart because I knew the team ever since like from the very beginning of my crypto journey, like 2016, 2017, and then the project did the best multiple in my investment journey, 200x. The project was listed on Binance and Coinbase in day one, and they basically killed it. And they have been working really well, with a lot of I would say conglomerates and bigger institutions for wider adoption, and they've been doing a great job in the easing user onboarding journey. So yeah, today we have Ahmed, the co-founder, joining us. So first of all, Ahmed, please do a quick introduction of yourself and to our audience.
For sure. Thank you so much for the introduction. So everyone, my name's Ahmed, one of the co-founders at Biconomy. Been in this space since 2016, and since then, I think this is probably the third or fourth bull market since 2016. Before that was in TradFi, luckily for a very, very short amount of time. And I have lived between Dubai, China, and the UK, and now I live here in Dubai. And it was around, I'd say, nearly 5 years ago when we started Biconomy. It feels like it was yesterday. Building companies is not easy, it's hard, and that's why they take a long time for them to at least have some form of PMF. Welcome our good friend Talal as well. Yeah, I'd say that's sort of like a very high-level intro.
Nice, nice. And I don't know if you guys know about account abstraction. It's a keyword for Biconomy these days. So I would love to ask Ahmed, can you explain account abstraction like we are all 5-year-old?
For sure, for sure. So I would say initially, when we got started at Biconomy, we essentially started with the mission of enabling seamless on-chain interactions. And we started this nearly 5 years ago, and everything that we've done till this day is all revolved around that mission. And when we did start, it was around enabling a form of meta transactions, or you could think of it as gas sponsorship for users, because we basically saw developers wanted to sponsor gas on behalf of their users. And so we enabled that infrastructure. Account abstraction essentially takes up this concept, on steroids, because it essentially enables so many more user experience and benefits. It enables many ways that developers could actually enable a form of execution abstraction. And finally, how we like to sort of think about it is that AA essentially allows users to have a different way of validating their signatures, validating the way they authorize themselves on chain. And so for us, account abstraction kind of opens the door to a wide spectrum of things that weren't possible before, but are now possible, but are possible now. And so, yeah, the way we like to think of it is like gas sponsorship on steroids, because there's so many more sort of UX benefits that we could provide.
Nice, nice. I love it. Yeah, you must know the smartest 5-year-old. Yeah, so...
Sorry, I forgot to answer that. I was kind of giving the story. Yeah,
yeah. It's actually really quality information Ahmed was giving there. So from my side, because I share the project to a lot of people, Biconomy. So they started, I always say, they do gasless transactions. So think about it. When you do like a transaction on chain, you need to pay for the gas. And imagine there's someone who pay for the gas for you. You just need to if you want to do the like a lending and borrowing of USDT, you just need to have the USDT. You don't have to go to say, Binance. You don't have to go to OKX to get BNB or like ETH or Mantle on any chain, because this part, the gas part, can be covered using their technology. So that just quickly eases a lot of user journey. And then now with the account abstraction, they're saying, the sign in with, they can allow the sign in maybe using email. So, we don't need to sign like with wallet, etc. Because sometimes I just worry, I lose my memory phrase, etc. or my like private key, right? It's actually very, it's very easy to like forget those kind of things. So, but with I would say like password, phone number, etc., it's a lot easy. So Biconomy is in the journey enabling that. Do I interpret it correctly?
Yeah. I mean, I would simplify even further to say there are you could think of it as really as onboarding transaction in one part, and the other part is execution abstraction. So the onboarding abstraction is essentially signing with email, signing with passkeys, having multi-sig. These are all different ways that a user could basically create an account and authorize an account. And then you have execution abstraction. This is where you essentially have gas sponsorship, which we talked about. The second thing that we enabled, for example, with a few applications and wallets like Trust Wallet, where now if you use Trust Wallet, you as a user could pay your gas fees in any token. So you might be on BSC, you might be on Polygon or Avalanche or any of these EVM chains, and you have assets on your smart account, and you could basically pay gas in any token. And why is that really cool is because you don't need the native token of that chain to do any transaction. That's one part of execution abstraction you could think about. Another part that we allow developers is the idea behind sort of like session keys. And so the idea here is that users could basically do transactions without actually having to sign their wallet, because that signing is basically done essentially in the back end when the user doesn't know. It's like how you go in on Google and you kind of authorize an app or you authorize something, and Google kind of tells you, oh, you're authorizing this app to do this, but it can't do this, this, and that. This is the same thing with session keys. So you could authorize an app to do this trade for you, right? Or sign this trade within certain parameters. So we actually power quite a few perp dexes where traders could just trade without having to keep signing MetaMask all the time.
Oh, that's
right?
convenient.
So they could batch the transactions, and they could there's a part of batch transaction, but also there's like removing the whole signing part because it's the app that's doing the signature on behalf of the user.
Oh.
And again, of course, batching, right? Batching is the other aspect of execution abstraction. So
Nice.
there are all these when we think of account abstraction, it's love to separate it into two, where there's a form of onboarding, signature abstraction, and execution abstraction.
Nice. So basically, you do the heavy lifting across the user journey. Either
Correct.
it's like gas or like signing and then batch transactions, etc. Right? I guess the scope will keep expanding.
Yes, 100%. And so, like for example, this was meant to also like be a plus panel, right? So like one thing I wanted to talk about, which was about one of the first applications that we went live with on Blast. In a week, they've done, I think, nearly 60,000 transactions. It's called SA. So basically, users could purchase they could purchase, let's say, tickets, like lottery tickets, but essentially this ticket allows them to win an NFT if they're chosen. So that each ticket is like $3. But the currency that they use on their platform is USDB. And so by using USDB, what they essentially get users to do is basically deposit funds into the SA Smart account, which is a Biconomy Smart account in the background. And then users basically pay you know, the tickets in USDB and also pay the gas in that in USDB itself. So for the user, they're still using MetaMask or whichever wallet they like. All they have to do is move funds to their SA wallet, and then, you know, they could just easily sign transactions for every purchase they make, without having to think about gas, because gas is already paid in the USDB token.
Do people say what you do is a bit similar to intent? Like, you know, like the process, basically you do all the process in the middle, and then like you just deliver the end result.
So I would say we provide specific, so it's funny, intent is such a, I don't know, who gets intents here? Like has anyone heard of intents before?
Yeah, it's an emerging narrative, yeah.
Okay, a couple of you. Is it a very weird word?
Not really. It took me a while to understand. Took me a while.
So intents in Web3, I feel it's weird, but it essentially, like, it's very simple. It's like, essentially the user could express a want or a need that they have, and then there is an off-chain entity that would resolve that intent of the user and make that thing happen, right? And so the whole point is intents could do anything from a simple trade to a very complex order, and anything in between. And so essentially, like, for me, the way I think about intents is intents are defined by the most successful applications, because they will know their users and they will define the best intents for them, right? It's like, so for me, intents are a bit, I don't know, I don't like the word. I'm not a big fan of it, but essentially, like, to answer your question, we basically enable intents for the developer, right? So like the developer is intending to do session keys, or they kind of like want to enable these UX abstractions for the user. We're kind of providing those application-specific intents, as opposed to the user defining them.
Nice. I love the way you explain intents. It's like so much simpler than the way you explain account abstraction. I guess that's something that founder has. When it's something that they research on a daily basis, they just can't let go of certain words. Interesting. Yeah. Like, I love that. So I mean, during our research journey, we come across a lot of projects doing account abstraction. How would you say yours is different from others?
Yeah, no, good question. So for us, the way we built our stack is essentially, first, it's full stack. We're, I'd say, the biggest provider that provides a full stack account abstraction solution. So that goes from the smart account itself, then the bundler, then the paymaster, and essentially you need all of these different components to enable account abstraction. Whereas you have many companies that would offer, maybe half of the stack. So typically they'd either just provide the smart account stack or the infrastructure, which is the paymaster and the bundler. So we provide the full stack. That's one part. The second part I'd like to say is that we're always cheaper, better, and faster in every aspect. So we're cheaper on the paymaster side, the bundler side, and that is very important, especially when developers actually have to sponsor gas. And at the end of the day, when I sort of look at our journey, we've been around for the past 4 years. We have the most experience in actually doing UX abstraction in all different forms. And so we cover so many different edge cases that we're able to really think ahead, and especially when we're building out smart contracts with a smart account. We also build modules. These modules, you could think, I wouldn't say they're necessarily part of the full stack, but the fact that we also build modules allows our infrastructure and our solution to be more tightly integrated. So these modules are like session keys, which we just talked about before. And so it allows for an end-to-end, experience that the developer could just utilize without having to go to multiple providers. And so given I would say, the experience that we have in building UX abstraction and actually catering for different needs, catering for different use cases, I'd say, That's sort of, I would say, what sets us apart, because a lot of applications that we work with kind of see how deep we go and how, how we can make the complex looking things in the background just make it super simple for the user, and they don't really need to know about it.
Nice. So to summarize, right, it's a full package. It's a combination of being comprehensive, you provide a full package, being affordable, and also having this first mover advantage, and then I guess all the related resources that help you guys to move faster in this scene. Yeah, that's nice. So Bico token has been out for quite a while, right?
Yes.
So any recent, say, because we understand, maybe one more question, right? Tell us what's the user statistics currently. How many users are using Biconomy? Because I remember when it was launched, it also was one of the most active, I would say, protocols used, because you are more B2B and then to C. And then, the project that use your service, they basically expand your user base. So that itself is pretty massive. But that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago. So now, what's the number look like in Biconomy? Can you share to our audience?
Yeah, for sure. So on the account abstraction product, when you say user, you mean Bico token holders or just users of the platform?
The protocol usage, first of all,
okay.
and then later we can go to the token side.
Yeah. So on the account abstraction side, we have given that it's a new product, I would say we have over 1,800 developers registered onto our platform. And that was just of Q1, by the way. Just in Q1 alone, we've had over 1,800 new
Nice.
developers come into our platform. We've crossed 7.5 million transactions in Q1, and we also, I would say, in terms of number of dApps, we hit the 550 number of applications that have at least done one transaction in Q1. That have actually integrated Biconomy, integrated sort of the full package, and have done the transaction. So it kind of gives a good sort of scale for a product that's not only just new but within the new segment. And in terms of, I would say, users who have interacted with the product, so I could say around 1.2 million smart accounts have been created. So that's essentially 1.2 million users who have created smart accounts.
Up to date, right?
Yes, for account abstraction. So I would say this is been sort of 11 months or so since we've released the product. So those I would say are top line metrics for the product itself, because because we're mainly B2B, where we do not have a user-facing product. So these users are essentially users of our customers, which are the wallets or the dApps or even the chains as well.
Wow. But yeah, 1.2 smart accounts, basically users under 1 year. That's pretty impressive if you put into perspective that it's a crypto product and crypto is still in the early stage of adoption. So kudos to that. Yeah. So regarding we just mentioned tokens, right? Because the protocol usage actually has I would say a good booster for the token holders, as in they have more confidence in terms of the usage of the token, and then the wider say adoption for the protocol, and then the more promising upside for the token itself, right? Can you share some news about the token side? Are you adding new utility?
For sure. So we right now, at least with regards to the token, the current sort of utility is mainly governance.
Governance.
We do have a staking contract where we incentivize token holders to basically store and stake the tokens for some rewards. We are looking to expand the utility in different ways, because we are essentially seeing our products evolving into sort of a network where there would be more utility for the token. So all I could say there is like TBC until, you know, maybe until another couple months, because we have some exciting stuff to share when it comes to the token side.
Nice. I think Ahmed downplay it because I did my research. Like because I work with a lot of projects, so usually project receive like say grants or developer tokens, or they based on their on chain activities, they receive like the tokens. Like some active DEX on Arbitrum, they receive a couple million like worth of ARB, right? So with such a widely adopted protocol like Biconomy, I'm sure they will get airdrop a lot of like tokens from a lot of good protocols, right? So when you're saying people can stake Bico to get more rewards, are you referring to like what are we referring to? What kind of range are we referring to? Is it more Bico or more other tokens or like future tokens, etc.?
Yeah, so right now it's Bico, and what you've mentioned in terms of the latter could also be the case. So we're definitely looking into that as well.
Nice,
so
thank you.
If you haven't staked your Bico tokens, do stake them. That's all the alpha I could share.
Thank you for the alpha, sir. Amazing. So what will be the recent, let's say, upcoming roadmap for Bico? You guys have done like a great job providing a wide range of say, toolkits and SDKs for project to easily use, for developers to use. What's the overall like roadmap onwards for the next 1 year?
Yeah, good question. I would definitely say number one is increase PMF even more. So
PMF, okay.
We basically want to ensure product market fit is at the best as it can be for smart accounts in general and account abstraction. And so that's always number one, is seeing how we could get more use cases, how we could enable more adoption. And I think this is always going to be something that we're always going to be focused on. So that's number one. Number two is on the token side, because we definitely believe that we can bring in some utility, or at least a bit more utility into the overall protocol and network. And so essentially, revamping the tokenomics is going to be really important for us, at least sometime this year for sure. Number three, I would say, is there are, I would say, interesting sort of go-to-market opportunities that we're thinking about. It could be things around like a MetaMask Snap. It could be a MetaMask Snap.
Snap? What's that?
So snaps on MetaMask. So I'm not sure if you use MetaMask, but
I use, but it's so freaking expensive. Yeah, when we do the swap there.
So basically, you could think of Snap as a Chrome extension for MetaMask.
Okay.
So if you go on MetaMask, they have something like Chrome extensions in MetaMask itself.
Okay.
And so I think the biggest MetaMask Snap is Solflare. So you could essentially have a Solflare account within your MetaMask, right?
Got it.
So many different developers have built many different snaps, and so there are really cool opportunities in terms of like building smart account snaps, for on MetaMask. So if you have an account on MetaMask, you could easily create a smart account, and that smart account could have all the amazing UX benefits we just talked about. So you could basically pay gas in any token from your MetaMask, essentially, which is super cool. I would say that is one part. Another part is we're very excited, of course, about chain abstraction. Chain abstraction is definitely an area that definitely fits within our wheelhouse, because we abstract a lot of things on one chain. And as we're speaking to wallets and different chains and different dApps, they want to see different types of abstraction across different chains, right? So the idea behind, I want to do a transaction on Polygon, but I want to pay the gas fees for that transaction on Optimism, right? So I could pay the gas essentially from ETH that is on Optimism for the transaction I'm doing on Polygon, right? Or the idea behind I have funds in, let's say, Polygon, Arbitrum, and Optimism, and I want to basically purchase an NFT on Blast. So essentially, and you could think of this as like an intent, and so the user would basically have to move would basically see a consolidated view of their assets to do that transaction on Blast itself. And so I think there's a lot of really cool opportunity over there which we're sort of researching, because at the end of the day, right, we want to kind of make the EVM experience feel like one. Right now it's very disjointed. And it's not even trying to solve for liquidity fragmentation, it's just trying to solve for the UX fragmentation, or just the fragmentation of, like, I always forget where my gas is, I always forget I always forget where everything is sometimes. And it will be great to at least enable or build infrastructure that allows dApps or wallets to make it easy for users to make all these interactions possible. Because right now it's all single chain. The idea is how can we make it cross-chain, because there's a lot of other pieces solved. Like, we don't need to build cross-chain messaging. We don't need to build liquidity. Like, all of that stuff is built. It's plug and play, right? But you still need to build the infrastructure to enable those things to happen in a seamless way. So it's basically the Legos are there. It's just need to build it in a way that makes sense for developers.
So the chain abstraction you're talking about, is this something that you have done for Blast, or it's something?
It's just something we're researching. So I think as part of our roadmap for the future, it's definitely something we're exploring.
Nice. Yeah. So to summarize, a lot of say product updates, and new additions to the service offerings, and then tokenomics revamp. Sounds good. Yeah. So actually. Biconomy team moved back to Dubai 2 years ago, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Kind of, and then so we were actually in Dubai in 2016, 2017 as well. So we have been being in Dubai for such a long time. People consider us Dubai OGs, right? I'm more of the role of deployer, but then you're more in the role of startup founders. So actually there's so many new startup founders who try to come here and then see if Dubai is a good place for them to to station, right? So if they're coming here, what kind of what advice would you give to these new startups coming here?
Yeah, no, for sure. How many builders are here, or how many founders? Okay, a couple. How many are based in Dubai? Okay, how many of you are looking to come to Dubai? Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
There's more outside.
Yeah, no. There's a lot more on Telegram as well.
Yeah, so many people ask me.
Yeah. I mean, to answer your question, really, I would, ultimately just think about the structure of your company. Is Dubai going to be your HQ, or is it more of let's say a back office type setup, right? And so I think that would just help answer the question of, okay, should it be HQ or back office is number one. Number two is Dubai is slightly expensive on the company registration side.
Agreed.
And you've seen it.
It's getting more expensive.
It's getting more expensive. So typically what I've seen is founders, they raise and then they do it. So it's probably best you sort of do a raise before you kind of put that capital in. I would say Dubai is a place of, or at least the UAE, is it a place that you just want to register in and you might be remote and you don't really care about the market here, then that's fine. But if you want to make the most out of the UAE market and the people who are here, or maybe enterprise or government, then you need a lot of face time here. That is just a lot of yes, as well. There's a lot of relentless sort of networking that's needed, or because the thing is that I see a lot of people now who come here, they maybe set up here and they kind of expect a lot of business to like flow in from day one, and that's not going to happen. You need a lot of face time with people. And it's not just an introduction, like you might get an introduction to someone, but that doesn't really like matter. You kind of need to be in people's faces. But if you don't really want that, or if you don't really care about the market here because you're a Web3 protocol and you might be doing something, everything's online and it's all decentralized, you kind of don't really care about, you know, the real business that happens, you know, in the off-chain world, then that's fine too. Because the great thing about the UAE is, of course, as you guys are aware, the regulatory environment is very, favorable to crypto, and that's why we're seeing a lot of people come here. So yeah, I just make that remark in terms of like, if you're expecting to do real business, then you need to up your networking effort for sure.
Yeah. I think like Dubai is a really good place for, you know, exposure for marketing and also like BD, because people convene here like on a regular basis. It's like a city of events. People keep like, you know, creating events here, and it's very helpful as well. But it's also very distracting. Also, it's like expensive. It's getting more expensive. So I think for a project to really like especially if you're just starting, maybe see like, you know, Dubai as a like come here seasonally to get the best out of Dubai, but build, you know, in a focus environment that allows you to focus as well. But on the other hand, there's also very, very affordable side of Dubai, you know, when like the cost is not so expensive. So it's really up to you what fits you the best. Yeah. But thank you for some very good advice. Last question for Biconomy, right? So I know we have always been active on EVM, the Ethereum side, and you have been supporting a lot of like say projects on this. Have you thought about expanding to non-EVM space like Solana, Aptos, etc.? Yeah,
last year mid of last year we were meant to acquire a team to do all the work that we were doing on Solana, and it didn't happen. And I'm really I really picture myself that it didn't happen, only because it was our fault. Yeah. We were like, oh, it's too early.
It's too early, yeah.
And but we should have done it because for us it's very clear that we definitely want to go on different chains. It's just that the infrastructure and the manpower and the skills are very different, and so it's just a matter of timing, to be honest, when to do that. And so I mean, like, I'm really excited about like Sui, for example. Sui, I think, has one of the best, you know, teams and tech out there for how a blockchain can be built. Like, Sui has no community, I think, at the moment, okay. Right? But but their tech is probably one of the best for sure. And they might be like, you know, just like an early Solana at the moment, right? So like, that's an example of a chain, you know, I'd love to sort of, you know, expand to. Solana, of course, and there are many other chains. Like there are many other chains that, you know, that we love to support. It's just a matter of timing. Right now, EVM keeps us very busy. It keeps you very busy. If we're in a world where there's going to be 1 million L2s, then you know, we might just stay there. We don't know.
Okay, yeah. Some two very quick questions, right? What's the biggest chain airdrop that Bico got? Like, can you share?
I would say optimism.
Optimism. Yeah. How much is it?
I don't know if I could share, but it's definitely like it was a very good amount. It was a very good amount.
Yeah, definitely in the millions. Okay, and what's the treasury situation in Bico?
So what I could say is that we definitely have at least 3+ years of runway.
3+ years of runway. Okay.
And so, of course, as market prices go up, especially for let's say, because most of it is cash, some of it is always going to be some airdrops or chain integration fees we get of other projects, and so that number could potentially change just based off prices, but that's not a really big concern for us, given that everything is in stables.
Actually, I think with what you do, you actually have a better insight in terms of which protocol can do better, because you are monitoring the real-time statistics from your developer side, from your SDK usage side. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's something that Bico users can also get like rewarded in the future if you can devise something like an information portal for us. Just something that just occurred to me just now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that could be a startup of itself. Just data
Yeah,
itself.
that could be a startup itself. Yeah, it could be like a startup built on Biconomy ecosystem, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We speaking of that, we actually have at least 2 or 3. There is one project that we actually incubated, which will be launching very
What's
soon.
the name?
It's called Balloon Dogs. Balloon Dogs.
Balloon Dogs.
You probably haven't heard of it.
Send me the deck, please.
It's they're actually raising. They're coming to Dubai, I think.
Okay, mashallah. Okay.
And they're based. Yeah, they're based in. No, sorry. They're an intent based solution. Both an infrastructure and as well as so it's something I would say like we're also very much heavily looking to like like at least that there are potentially projects we incubate and we would let a team sort of focus on what they need to focus on.
Nice. Balloon the dot. Well, this has been a very informative session, and yeah, like I myself is learning so much from it, because we didn't know it's going to be a fireside chat. Some of the speakers drop out because they're in the US and they couldn't make it to catch the flight. So it turned out to be such a in-depth session about Biconomy, and I myself learned a lot, and I think, yeah, there's a lot of alpha, but NFA. But thank you so much, Ahmed, for coming on the stage and sharing so much to our Shard Dubai audience. Thank you so much. Round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.